Hi, my name is Austin Kennedy, and today I'm going to broadly discuss the Trail of Tears, and there are four specific points I want to focus on. First, I will outline what was going on in the United States right before the forced removal of Native Americans. Secondly, who forcibly removed Native Americans, why were they forcibly removed, and how were they forcibly removed. Thirdly, what were the struggles faced during the Trail of Tears, and lastly, how did music and Native American culture survive through and after the Trail of Tears? Okay, the first question I want to ask is what was happening in the United States prior to the forced removal of Native Americans? The Native Americans have been living in North America for centuries, yet their population has dwindled for many different reasons. It's hard to guess exactly how many pre-Columbian Native Americans were living in what is now the United States, but estimates range anywhere from 2 to 18 million. It is thought that diseases brought from the Europeans wiped out a large portion of the Indians because of their lack of immunity to these new diseases, such as smallpox. And then around the early 1800s, the United States began to rapidly expand into the southeastern region of the United States, and the Native Americans were in the way. This was the start of voluntary and forced removal of Indians by the United States government. The second thing I want to focus on is who forcibly removed the Native Americans, why were they forcibly removed, and how were they forcibly removed. Who forcibly removed them? In 1830, President Andrew Jackson signed the Indian Removal Act, which gave the United States government the power to exchange land east of the Mississippi River for land in the west. These negotiations were supposed to be fair and peaceful, but that never happened. Many, if not all, of these negotiation treaties were illegitimate and forced. Why were they forcibly removed? One of the main reasons whites and Indians never got along was because of their vast differences in culture. And the United States was also rapidly expanding at that time, and land for cotton growth and gold was at an all-time high. White settlers wanted their land, and they would do anything necessary to accomplish that. And how were they forcibly removed? By any means necessary. Some voluntarily moved, but most stayed and were physically forced out by troops and put on boats. Some even had to walk hundreds of miles. The government did not care how this removal was done. They just wanted to take over the land and make as much money as they could. The third thing I'd like to discuss is the struggles faced by Native Americans during the Trail of Tears. The displacement of Native American peoples was devastating. They had to move from the only place they had ever known their entire lives. They were forcibly removed, meaning they had no time to prepare for the long haul across the nation, no time to prepare for the winter, no time to do anything except to comply or be killed. This trek east of the Mississippi River proved fatal for thousands upon thousands of Native Americans due to extreme weather conditions, starvations, and disease. Some of the diseases included whooping cough, typhus, and dysentery. And then upon arrival, life was not easy. They were in a completely different part of the world, so it seemed. They were not familiar with the land. They did not know where to find water, food, or shelter. And to wrap it up, I want to discuss how music and Native American culture lived through and after the Trail of Tears. Music has always been a constant in Native American culture, almost like a god they worshipped. Native Americans do not talk or write about their history. They tell stories through music and dance. There are stories of Native Americans singing together on the Trail of Tears about hope of survival and the idea of prosperity in their new land. Without this idea of hope, many may not have made it. Some songs about the Trail of Tears have been passed down and aid the new generation of Native Americans with the history of their culture. Music is the greatest means of hope and communication between generations of Native Americans who could never actually interact face to face. Without these stories told through music and dance, the Native American culture might be extinct. What the United States government did to the Native American people was possibly the greatest massacre of people in United States history. Nevertheless, the Native American culture and people who experienced the Trail of Tears live on with stories to be told through music and dance.